Colombian President Gustavo Petro gave an inspired address calling to end wars while doing more to combat climate change, which he described as the mother of all crises. Petro called for the United Nations to hold peace summits to resolve the conflicts in Ukraine and Palestine. Well, on Tuesday, I had a chance to sit down with President Petro for an exclusive broadcast interview. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. We're here at Colombia's permanent mission to the United Nations, just after President Gustavo Petro gave his speech before the UN General Assembly. He was the third person to speak. First, the Brazilian President Lula, then President Biden, then Colombia's President Gustavo Petro. Welcome back to Democracy Now!
Gracias, muy amable.
Thank you, very kind.
You spoke just after President Biden. In part of his speech, he talked about the world giving more support to Ukraine. In your speech, you called for two peace summits, one in Ukraine and one for Palestine. You said,
¿Cuál diferencia entre Ucrania y Palestina, pregunto?
I ask, what is the difference between Ukraine and Palestine? Isn't it time to end both wars and other wars and use the little time we have to build the roads to save life on Earth?
talk about what you are calling for.
América Latina casi.
Latin America, almost in general, has not had the same position as NATO, nor the United States, nor the European Union. We have been invited to provide arms, machinery for war, to send soldiers to the war in Ukraine. We have not accepted that invitation. Basically, we're neutral in any war, not because we don't believe that there is an occupation, but because, basically, we don't believe in those who are inviting us to participate in war. Because many of the countries of Latin America, Guatemala, the Dominican Republic, Panama, Grenada, Argentina, and so on, have suffered invasions by the same countries that today are extending an invitation to reject the invasion of Ukraine. Most of the Latin American countries rejected the invasions of Libya, Iraq, and Syria, which were done for motives which today are illegal. And in that regard, when I compare the situation of Palestine with the situation of the Ukraine, I want to show a parallelism. In the real situations, there's military occupation in both countries. But there's a different attitude among world powers. The European Union is interested in pushing Russia back together with NATO. They have certain economic arrangements with Ukraine. Ukraine is like the role of Mexico in relation to the United States, but they're